If you're a powerful woman entrepreneur on the rise, you need to listen up. This is for my women entrepreneurs who are really ready to unleash that next level of star power, of impact, and of revenue growth. If you're a powerful woman entrepreneur on the rise, you need to listen up, because your pathway to growth isn't necessarily the next tactical thing that you do inside your business. What it really comes down to is your commitment to lead your organization from your zone of genius and not from your zone of excellence. Now, one of my favorite books is a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendrick. And you've probably, if you've watched any of my videos or listened to my podcast, you've heard me talk about that book before. And one of the things that Mr. Hendrick talks about in the book is that if you really want to make breakthrough growth, if you want to really achieve new heights as a woman leader, it's really critical that you spend most of your time in your zone of genius. This is the area that only you can do, that you are uniquely talented and skilled at doing. The problem is that so many of us are stuck inside our zone of excellence or even our zone of competence. Now, I had a major breakthrough on this point a couple of months ago when I realized that I was actually spending 60% of my time in my zone of excellence and just about 20% of my time in my zone of genius. The other 20% of my time I was in my zone of competence, and don't even get me started on that. But when I realized that in order for me to be the leader in the industry and the leader inside my organization that I need to be, I needed to spend my time exclusively in my zone of genius rather than my zone of excellence. I spent some time sitting in that knowledge. And what started to happen is that my plans began to arrange themselves right before my eyes. So questions that I've been wrestling with about how to grow strategically, about the right team members to put in place, started to kind of effortlessly line up as I started to pull away from my zone of excellence and spend more and more time in my zone of genius. That area that only I can do, and that for me feels engaging and somewhat effortless. So what does this mean for you? The first thing it means is that as you are preparing to rise, you need to think less about doing and more about being. Where are you in your zone of genius? Where do you feel fully connected, fully alive? You feel as though time passes and you completely lose track of it, and it's something that is your unique ability, something only you can do. The first step is knowing what those things are. And how do we figure it out? Not by sitting back and thinking about it, but by observing yourself. Observe when you feel fascinated, when you feel fully absorbed. Chances are that is your zone of genius. Once you know what that is, start to again observe all the areas and places in your current business where you're operating from a zone of excellence. Most of you are good at outsourcing things that are in your zone of competence. Like, I don't do my bookkeeping. It's actually a zone of incompetence, and that has been outsourced forever. But doing things inside my business that are in my zone of excellence, much harder to delegate, but the rewards of getting out of that zone of excellence and firmly in your zone of genius are massive.